gents.
Good morning, gents.
Good morning, world. Hey, Mike. Boom. It's going down in Chinatown.
What's up? Mike's got like one or two guns here.
Just a couple. We're doing what we do. It's about to go down. Boom.
Boom, yo. So check it out. Earlier this year, I went through one of Mike Pannone's hybrid pistol courses. This thing was insane. Honestly, I haven't, not since I've been out of the military, have I been through any type of training that was like so strenuous and was so intense. It was like, well, I guess to begin with, the way Mike explains everything, you're hearing things about pistol work, pistol fundamentals, and how to do things you've been doing for years, but you're hearing these things from his perspective, with his understanding, and with his depth of understanding. So, I mean, a little bit about Mike Pannone. He's lived the life of a warrior for over 30 years. Marine Corps Recon, Green Beret, unit guy, Delta Force, stood up part of the Air Marshal's pistol course. Then he went and was one of the first contractors on the ground and helped put together another, stand up another program for, one of the largest overseas contracting companies in the game. Mike Pannone has lived combat arts and training and all those things at the highest levels that our country has to offer for decades, right? So to have an opportunity to learn from a human being like that is just, it's an honor. He's a living legend, and he'll smoke you, he'll outshoot you, and he'll do it with one eye, literally. So, like, he's a man amongst men. He's one of those e pluribus unum, out of many, one, type guys. He was one of our guest speakers at the Protector Symposium. You can go to protectorsymposium.com to check that out and listen to his segment. It's amazing. All about CCW, covert carry dynamics. All of it's about, I want to say, 3 hours and some change on that. And he did it all from in here. But anyways, so he has such depth of knowledge concerning firearms, how to use them, the manipulation of them, all of that stuff. He has such, and not just the knowledge, but he's just done it so many times. When you do something so many times, you have these different layers of knowledge, and he has that, and he's just amazing at articulating it. And so the first thing that blew my mind is I'm sitting here listening to these basic marksmanship principles and concepts, and I'm like hearing them for the first time, because the way he's breaking it down, and he understands exactly why you're doing everything, and he understands the failure points around doing it this way and that way, and because he just has the reps and he has that type of mind. So his course, what I was thinking while I was watching him teach was that this course could easily be something that would be extremely valuable just digitally. That's how good it was, because just listening to him talk about the basic fundamentals was that valuable to me, and I really had some aha moments during those explanations that he was dropping on it, which was absolutely, it was outstanding. So you get there, and this course is by no means like, there's not a lot of talk. You're shooting. You are there to work. You get after. I legitimately, I don't know if you can see that, but I legitimately, it was months ago, and I have an actual callus on my finger from that course, from that 2-day hybrid pistol course. I'll post how many times we actually, drew and did all the different, failure drills and all the different things. But I hadn't been to a course that forced me to become so affectatious, so learned, so forced me to develop the skill of weapon manipulation. The way this course has, I mean, this is one course I walked away from this course and I felt like my firearm was an extension of me. It was like a firearm honeymoon. We became more intimate, me and my firearm, during this course. We became one because we were just going through a lot like in boot camp when you're drilling all day. It felt like we were almost drilling these, all the different strong side, weak side draw, strong side, weak side, clearing malfunction, strong side, weak side, one-handed reloads, all these different techniques, strong side, weak side, weak side, one-handed clearing malfunctions, and we just got into a flow and we just did it and 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 did it all day until we got good at it, and then did it some more, which was just, it was amazing. And what I think is really special about Mike is in today's world, I feel like trainers are in a tough spot because essentially it's a business. You gotta make money, you wanna make money. So you need your students to really have a good time and really love, have fun at your course. Otherwise people aren't gonna come back because nobody wants to work hard anymore. Well, nobody, everyone wants something for nothing. We're in that microwave generation part of things. But something he's mentioned a lot, and if I can get him to expound on it, I will sometime. But he's mentioned that he knows what it looks like when people don't know what they're doing in combat, when they needed more training and they needed better training. And maybe this is my psychology degree, but I have a suspicion that experience in his life drives him to really stinking take his training seriously. So that whole kind of feel-good component that you get at a lot of today's training and a lot of today's kind of training environments, where they make sure you do something really cool and make you feel good, and before you leave, and you have a positive experience, but it's kind of, you can feel that it's kind of fake a little bit. None of that existed here. This was time to get to work. This is what you need to do in order to know how to survive, and you need to become good at it. The training wasn't militant in that it was like tough guy, intense, and hard for no reason, but it was militant in that at day 2, I legitimately was like, we're putting in work. I legitimately was like, we are working. That's how I felt. I was like, there was a moment where I was like, you know what? This is not even fun anymore. I am literally in the dojo practicing, working a skill right now out here on this range in this sun. We are getting after it. I went from fun range guy time mode into, this is just when we're back in the Marine Corps and we're just a bunch of warriors out here drilling a skill, training a skill, hammering out a skill. Hammering out a movement until it becomes a skill. And so for serious practitioners, people that really want to become better with their firearm, because Mike's approach to training is that way, and he doesn't really need it. Where he's at in life, he's not needing to be a trainer and needing any of these things. He doesn't need that. He's already made it. He's made it in a lot of different ways. It just shows that what he's giving you is what he genuinely believes you need in order to survive a combat engagement. And it ain't about your feelings. It's about you getting better. And there were no magic beans to be found. But I will say, if there was one course I took that made me legitimately much better at weapon manipulation, there was nothing like this hybrid pistol course. Boom. So here we are, the end of the first day. My hands took a beating, and I work out every day. My hands are pretty down, but yeah, it was good stuff. So bringing it home for the end of the first day, the exposed day. What are your thoughts, considerations?
I look at the overall capabilities of the class, the initial drills that we do. I go ahead and try and get a one over on where everyone's skill set lies. If there are any gaps we need to fill in, and then I go through all the component skills. Yeah. Everything that you're going to need to do to run your gun, we do in that morning block, and then we add in movement, and we add in dynamic targets that move. So there's just trying to get the shooting piece out of the way, so that every component skill that you need to run the gun, you've actually done with either hand independently or with both hands together.
absolutely. Yeah, like I definitely experienced the whole like making new connections in my brain, writing some new software for all the different manipulations and all the different problem-solving types of maneuvers I can do with my firearm, with my offhand, and you know, I mean, like getting both of those reps in, getting down on the ground, doing some things.
That unknown gun drill is the key to that one, because that's what ties it all together. Everything that we do when we do the unknown gun drill, it encompasses all of those skills. And then at the end of the day, we're doing it with either hand independently or both hands together, and it's unscripted. So you never really, it's a drill that is principally the same drill, but it's never exactly the same, because your partner is always setting it up in a different manner, and it allows you to take in, like I said, that the input on the gun gives me feedback. It allows me to learn to accept the feedback from the gun and just respond to it, and stop trying to outsmart the gun. Like stop trying to do what I want to do, but do what the gun needs. It's absolutely the best way to validate it. And then the rabbit drills we do just for speed, just shooting against each other, shooter against shooter. There's no better way to get faster than to shoot against another human being. Yeah,
it just brings a real, so like, you know, there's range work, but those two drills bring like a real world component to the range, because you're going to be chasing somebody, you're going to be shooting against another human being, and you're going to be forced to deal with non-standard problems while you're doing it. And so it's just kind of like, yeah, you're shooting on a square range, but now there's these real world elements that cause you to hone your skills in real time. It's like teaching somebody the difference between teaching them like a written way to do something like book knowledge versus teaching them how to be creative.
Yeah, there's when you respond to things just with your gun, for instance, you respond in a memorized manner. What you're looking for is a template. Does it meet the requirements of that template? And then I superimpose the template over the problem. I just fill in the blocks and I'm done. I'm not really reading what the gun's telling me. I'm trying to recognize, does this problem fit this solution, and then just execute it, as opposed to going, what does the gun actually need? That's what the unknown gun drill does. It demonstrates to me your intuitive knowledge of the gun. Do you actually know what's happening with the gun without having to stop and look at it and examine it visually? You're doing it all tactily. The energy transfer on the gun tells me what it needs, and I respond to it. If I'm trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do, I'm too slow.
That's the game, man. Boom. That's good stuff. So day one, hybrid pistol course, exposed. And then tomorrow,
700 rounds or so.
Yeah, good 700 rounds or so. And then tomorrow we're going to turn it up with the concealed work.
We're up to 11. We're turning it up to 11.
Good stuff. We're going to find the magic beans. But I still think they're in that 60-pound beanie bag.
That brute force sandbag with 65 pounds in it? Yeah, that one. Actually, it's about 70.
Okay, that's what's up. 70 pounds of magic beans, y'all.
Yeah, that 15th squat, it felt like I was about 90. But
I can only imagine. Heck yeah. Best cup of coffee in the world.
Oh, yeah.
All right, brother. Tomorrow. Good stuff. Boom.
The first day was exposed, so you know, if you work in an exposed capacity, savage. It was all about how to draw your weapon exposed, how to deal with malfunction exposed on your exposed rig, but one-handed, you know, both strong side and support hand, how to do all these things exposed. And so that was, you know, for guys that are working in an exposed format, absolutely integral. The second day, because it's a hybrid course, we went into CCW operations and how to carry your weapon, CCW, but mostly how to execute all of these maneuvers, from a concealed format. So the first day is exposed, and then we ramp it up to concealed the second day, and we just go on ahead and get after it, and we get those reps in. And the concealed portion of it was awesome too, because like, how often do you get to draw from concealment anyways and practice on a good, great range? And then how often do you get to draw weak hand from concealment? Do you even know how to draw weak hand from concealment? Do you even know how to get your gun into action? Do you know how to draw weak hand from concealment, clear a malfunction, and get your gun back up into the fight? You will understand it's second nature after this course, I'm telling you. So, you know, the first day being exposed, the second day being concealed was awesome. If you ever work in a concealed format, if you carry a gun because you're a police officer on duty, but then you carry one in this concealed format off duty, this is the type of course you should really look at. And I honestly say that you'd be hard pressed to find a trainer or a course that is gonna put you in a position to put more rounds downrange and put you in a position to actually drill with your pistol and digest and become one with this skill set as much as this one. This one did. You'd be hard pressed to put out the numbers that he puts out when it comes to your draws and when it comes to your reloads and when it comes to clearing malfunctions in this course. It was awesome. It was the hard stuff. It was a lot of the hard, unsexy stuff that you really need to know. It was the basics. It was the stuff that is really going to get you through a gunfight. You know what I mean? Not the sexy stuff. It's just how proficient are you with the bread and butter of pistol gunfighting. That's really what the course was about. And then the part of the second half of the second day, he let us loose on the steel we had at the range, and we just tore it up. And it was glorious, you know, just being able to just let loose and work the steel, work the steel, work the steel, work the steel, work the steel. Overall, the course was a 2-day course where I transitioned from being fairly proficient support hand and strong hand into being very confident with my skills, both support hand and strong hand, and being very confident with my skills in an exposed format and CCW format, which I shoot a lot. I get down, I get to courses and stuff like that, so I feel fine. But I definitely noticed that I did become better after this course as a result of the reps and guidance of Mike Pannone at this course. So I just want to say thank you for making that course available to us practitioners out here in the game that are carrying a weapon with consequence, Mike. It was an absolutely awesome experience. I look forward to everything else you're going to be rolling out in this new year. I hope more private security practitioners get out to your stuff. And you guys need to look them up. Look up CTT Solutions and get after it. It's not going to be pretty, but it's going to be good. It's going to be good for you. So, you know, yeah, man, I give Mike Pannone and CTT Solutions everything they're doing, my highest recommendation, especially after working with them for the symposium and all those other things. So just wanted to come to you guys and drop this little review on you. And I look forward to seeing y'all on the next video. This is Byron Rodgers. Until the next video, y'all, remember, stay peaceful, but not harmless. Protected by nature and by trade. I'll see you on the next one. Out. Boom.
Boom. So I'm here with Mike Pannone on the final day of the hybrid pistol course. We went on ahead and we did concealed work today. And I'll let him get into it, but it was awesome. It was eye-opening, changed a lot of things I'm doing. You know, real quick, I'll say that one thing I noticed right off the bat during this course, it was work.
Yeah.
It was work. Like I was with my dude, one of the guys on my details, and we're sitting here going back and forth, and it was like we were on the mats, or like we were at the gym, or like we were running next to each other, because it was like, yo, get your reps in, pay attention, stay in the game, and just work. Get that good work in. So
yeah, I don't spoon feed stuff, and again, the magic is there's no magic, man. You got to work. You got to do the work. Every great athlete. I played sports all my life, as far back as I can remember. Played sports in college. The best athletes in the world put the time in. They don't just randomly. Natural skill only gets you so far. Natural talent only gets you so far. You've got to do the reps. You got to do them, and you got to do them properly. You don't practice sloppy. You don't practice half-assed. So it is work. It's not a bunch of ornate shoots and not a bunch of fluff and smoke cool magic beans
stuff. Yeah.
You got to shoot. But in a day, we did drawn from concealment over 400 times in a short. Like basically today was a little bit of a shorter day, and you're talking 500 to 600 rounds. 400 draws from concealment, over 100 reloads from concealment, malfunction clearance, freestyle, strong hand, support hand. Everything was done evenly. Freestyle, strong hand, support hand. We did unknown gun drill. I mean, it was work, but you get more in one day than most people will do in years practicing this. So
exactly,
it's the most value for every minute and every bullet and every dollar you spend. That's what I want to get out there, and stuff that I know works.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, forget about your feelings. This is what you can do. This is what you can't do.
Yeah.
You know where you are. Here's exposure to all the different techniques and things that you can do to get to a better level and what you should be. If I was going to say one thing too, this 2 days, they say like warriors, you should be like an extension of your weapon. Definitely got closer, that relationship, that intimacy with my weapon, and
ton of manipulation.
All of that.
Every time you touch that gun, you learn something about it. Every time you do. And so I want your hands on that gun. I want you manipulating it, loading it, unloading it, clearing it, drawing it one-handed. I want the every time you touch it, you're putting a piece in that puzzle. You're trying to fill that puzzle in. And so I've got to get that gun in your hands in all different areas and orientations and configurations for you to learn. So that's the methodology I use is a lot about manipulation, because that builds dexterity, and dexterity and speed are hand in hand. If you can't handle that gun with dexterity, then you can't be fast. It's just not possible.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Thanks so much for having me, Mike.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
Thanks
an
for coming
honor,
on,
you know, to train with these legends while they're here. You know, I appreciate you, man. So, boom.
All
So
right,
we
brother.
see each other again. I'm sure we see each other again soon. I'll see y'all out there on the next video. Boom.